Welcome you all once again. I am here with one more video, and in this video, I will share my year long quest or journey on the path of spoken English. And as is the case, if you happen to see somebody fully conversant, fluent in English, then one develops the notion that he must be from English schools and his course of learning is different from Hindi medium students. That is why, before starting right from the beginning, my own quest of spoken English, I want to give you the valid proof that I am really a Hindi medium student, pass out from Hindi school. Now, here you can see right from the beginning. This one is the report card of class 2. You can see Anjani Kumar, Bharati Model Middle School in 1978. It was well established Hindi medium middle school, means primary and middle. And this one is the Tisco school, Tata Company school, and it was affiliated to Bihar Board Hindi medium. And these are report card of class 8, 9, 10. Now, Bihar Board, one more proof that see Bihar Educational Board, Secondary Board, and Anjani Kumar Singh you can see. So now it will be easy for me, and from your point of view, you will listen with all your attention that really this man has learned in his own way. And I will start from class 1. Actually, I got admitted in village school, the government primary school. My father joined in Jamshedpur. It was very late for me. I was already 8 years old. So I got admitted in a school that is Bharati Model Middle School, in the medium primary school. And I remember that up to class 7, and as is the customary in Hindi schools, we study only one period in English, and that also the lessons were explained in Hindi. So traditional way of teaching Hindi in this traditional way of teaching English in Hindi schools was entirely different, even in private school. So lessons were explained in Hindi, and apart from learning translation, I did nothing. I finished primary translation, then high school translation. High school translation up to class 7 only. So I finished both the translation books, and up to that time there was nothing special. It is the same as other students do in the classroom. But one thing I discovered, that when I practiced translation enough, I was acquainted with the sentence formation. I studied tense also very seriously at home, because I was not good in mathematics. So naturally my focus was on Hindi, English, and I still in this present date I have equal command over my mother tongue, Hindi and English, and I have composed poems in Hindi as well as English. Vast collection, at least 80 poems. So I felt that I am all capable of writing 2-3 sentences only due to translation. So it gave me the basic confidence and the foundation. Later on, it really proved to be a great source of help. So in the high school, as I am tall and sturdy built, stout body, so definitely I was inclined to the sporting activities, and I started playing cricket very seriously. My main focus and attention from study diverted to cricket, and I continued studying, not as an exceptional student, as a good student. I could secure 67% in class 10, and up to that time, especially in 8, 9, 10, I did nothing. The textbooks were of very low standard in comparison to the textbook in the present date. Now CBSE has got the same textbook in English, uh, in primary, in Hindi medium schools and in English medium school. So CBSE has got both the mediums, CBSE Hindi medium, CBSE English medium. The textbook in English is the same, way of teaching is different. So at that time, Bihar board has its own book. It was not CBSE book. That was of low standard. Even in class 10, we used to complete the answer in 4 sentences only. Only one paragraph was the long answer, where we were supposed to write 8 lines. So I learned to write somehow 6, 7 lines, 4 lines answer, and it was not correct. It was usually checked by the teachers. There were not too many, but some errors were there. I finished class 10. As I said, my focus was on cricket, and in college, I didn't attend classes regularly. As a science student, I was not very good. So later on, I changed my stream in arts, opted for pass course English. I am graduate in English with pass course, not honors, and not even PG. My subject in PG was social study. So my subject was social study. I completed education up to college. Nothing special in the quest of learning English. And unfortunately, I got injured. My playing cricket was over, and I prepared for SSC exams, the UPSC or BPSC exams, and I did it for long. When I started working, even up to that time, I was not at all focused in English learning, especially the spoken aspect, and didn't feel it urgently that it is the dire need of this time. It was only the discrimination in terms of payment, focus, attention, importance as a staff in the different offices that made me realize that learning English is really very essentially needed. But the desire crept into my mind, and I didn't do anything significant at that time. What to do? There was only Rapidex English speaking course in the long past. That book was ready-made translated sentences. It was of no use. That was the only book. There were no spoken English institute, and in a sense there was no hype of spoken English at that time. You learn to write few sentences, that is English for Hindi medium student, and that is what you can do. You simply put your grievance that my parents didn't help me to get admitted in English school. So up to graduation, I did nothing. Preparation of exam, that was social study, politics, political science, economics. So when I started working, my first job was the Reliance Mobile. There I suffered terribly for not having efficiency in English. Later on, when I appeared in the exam of assignment manager in some company, I was told your communication skill is not up to the level, so you will have to be you will not be officer. One post below the officer grade. So I didn't. I felt insulted that my efficiency testing criteria is based entirely on spoken English. So I gave up the idea. I didn't join that organization. Thereafter, I joined Reliance Mobile, as I said. After that, I was security personnel in a company in Jamshedpur, and I didn't start doing anything extra. It was only after joining the school. Finally, I decided that even in my mother tongue, I talk and communicate better in comparison to other fellows, classmates. I used to be a good communicator, even in the initial stage. I'm not talking about English. So I realized that I will have to capitalize the same efficiency capacity in English also. My all the attention was diverted to English, and I started teaching social study. But I thought better I should teach English. But my social study was the main subject. So after some years, headmistress came to know in the school that he is very interested in English learning. So he said, okay, I will help you. You just be ready to attend the English classes in 7 and then 10. I did that. But honestly admitting, my way of teaching was very, very conventional, the traditional way, as my teachers used to teach in the past. I explained the text in Hindi. I helped them to write the answers with much difficulty. I used to prepare it in advance with the help book. But I continued teaching English. The only benefit I get out of it that it enriched my vocabulary. The vocabulary was sound in the text. When I completed 1 year, my headmistress told that now you attend classes only in the higher section, that is 9 and 10. I did that. Up to that time, I didn't do anything significant or serious effort of learning spoken English. I am coming back to the point. Then I changed the school and I joined Bharat Sevasram Sangh for better salary. Bharat Sevasram Sangh is Hindi medium residential school, and I kept on working. And I have never thought and planned seriously that I will have to do something seriously regarding spoken English. So theoretical English was improving year after year as I started teaching English. But I was explaining in Hindi, no interaction in English. But it laid the foundation. If you read a novel, newspaper, your written form of English improves. For spoken, you have to practice in any form, not necessarily in English medium school. So see, I continued in Bharat Sevasram Sangh for some years. Later on, I discovered that, and my wife too joined in that school. She was a maths teacher. She used to fetch respect, focus, attention, maths, important subject. And I wanted the same thing to happen with me. All the students engulfed her to the table, and I won't say that I was neglected or marginalized, but I wanted the same type of respect and attention from students. And I realized that unless and until I speak English with command, even somehow, I'm not going to be given much importance, better salary. So I decided that I will join an English medium school where I will interact with teachers in English. Now, you see, when you decide to do that, all of a sudden, if you shift your gear from Hindi school to English school with Hindi medium background, that means you will have to survive against the odd. You will have to be mentally very tough, because the inferiority complex for having inefficiency in spoken English, then the psychological pressure that you will have to deal with the highly efficient people. They are the very, very good communicator. But I was mentally very tough. I was a fast bowler after all. I was not the sort of person who will be completely overshadowed or overtaken by the personality of others. Nothing. The only problem is speaking in English. So I told headmistress that I can explain lesson in Hindi, I teach English, but I won't be able to do the same thing in your school. And I was talking in this fashion because I was appointed by the favor of management in RVS Academy. I didn't compete or displayed my talent. I said that I want to teach Hindi and English, but my aim will be to enhance spoken English by interacting with you at that moment and with other teachers as well, and with the students too in the off time, like when recess hour, in the playground, in the library. Because I didn't have the same opportunity in Bharat Sevasram Sangh, because their teacher were mostly speaking in Hindi. So I thought that the environment, I don't mention this environment, it's much used word. but I think the people around me will be speaking and interacting. I will follow and I will also try to speak some sentences. At that time, my condition was like Maria Sharapova, who was learning tennis in America, and she had to compete with the American girls. They were better in English. They used to insult her. She felt humiliated, but she became resolute that I will be a tennis champion player. I will answer them in the field. So my condition, like Maria Sarabha, was I was not getting insulted. I used to fetch much recognition in that school. That being a Hindi and Sanskrit teacher, really I mean it. I was a Hindi and Sanskrit teacher in class 7 and 8 in RVS Academy. And everybody took a great notice of me that he is the Sanskrit teacher and he tries to speak English at least 4 or 5 sentences. That's a great thing. And they started cooperating with me. And there was no such case of humiliation or insult. If I felt so, it was only because of my inefficiency. I was embarrassed only because of my inefficiency, मेरी अयोग्यता के कारण. But others had very good and positive opinion about me. But still, at the end of the year, I felt that I am not improving too much, because interaction in the staff room was done 80% in Hindi only. English medium teachers of the class, they do not talk in Hindi, even in the best of the schools, because they are Indian. So I realized that even at this place I am not getting too much practice. Better I leave school. I didn't join that school for better salary, English learning. So I left the school. What did I plan? I have planned all through my life. You will come to know. I thought better I should join some coaching where there will be English medium students, but my authority will not be at stake. I will not be able to explain to the authorities that being an English teacher, why don't you communicate only in English? In coaching, I had the liberty to speak 80%, 70% in English, and then if not capable, then switch over to Hindi. So I started doing this for the first time. In the ideal coaching, well established, having English medium students preparing for board exam as a private candidate. So this was the first ever opportunity that I taught the English medium students in private coaching. It was also a Herculean task. It was the kind of task or job that a novice candidate went into the pitch and faced Shoaib Akhtar. You need to have special grit, determination, resilience, all the adjective which boosts confidence. I did that with perfection. I fetched respect. The coaching owner was full of praise, because normally the faculty were from Hindi medium only, and they were not interested in teaching in English. So when he came to know that I am teaching, I am trying my best to teach in English, even being a Hindi medium student, a teacher, so he praised me. He said, okay, you can continue. But I left the coaching after an year. You know the reason why? Because Jharkhand government announced now no private candidate will appear in Jharkhand board matriculation. Private registration cancelled. All the prospects in coaching came to the halt, and I didn't leave. Rather, I was compelled to leave. Then again I came back to Bharat Sevashram Sangh. In Bharat Sevashram Sangh, it was not possible to teach and interact in English. But I had started my long journey, and I was determined, no matter where I am, in India, in Oxford, or any part of globe, if you have got the strong will, you will find a way out. So firstly, I bought 20 odd books, and I got the huge material. Really, whatever I said is fact. I bought books in Kolkata, in Jamshedpur itself, and 22 odd books. Books like Harold Palmer, Exercises, Practical Exercises, T.J. Hogg, the English Trainer book, Grant Taylor, the Conversational book, British Communication English, Pearson Education, Michael Swan, the Practical English Uses, and other Indian writers as well. And out of those all books, firstly I completed the how to translate into English, the higher level translation. That is the only book. It has got no alternative. It is written by a Bihari author. it has got 1200 structures, and if you complete the structures, most of them will be known to you, but some structures are known new to the candidate who learns advanced learning. You complete that book, it will boost your morale, it will give you the feeling that now I'm all capable to utter or form sentences. But still, the English uses the very special way of speaking, the starting a sentence, the structure, and the functional grammar sentences. These things were collected out of 20 books. Firstly, I tried to discover what actually is the common which all the authors try to explain from spoken point of view. I got the concrete idea. And while I was buying books, people laughed at me. They started, what the hell he is doing by buying such a number of books? But I was focused. I had my own ways. I am not the sort of person who rely on the word of others. Gandhiji said about this education. Harold has said about culture. They have their own conception. I will develop my own. That doesn't mean I am a great man. A person must have his own conception and definition of a particular fact, phenomena. I developed my own way. I will collect 20 books, and that I will do. So I got the materials, study materials. I just collected the common things, and I came to know that all the existing book writers have provided the materials which are somehow related to tense, voice, narration, subject verb agreement, preposition, conjunctional uses, synthesis, transformation, modals. These are only these 9 or 10 topics. Now, 10 topics are not explained from in conventional way as it is in the grammar book in the market. From spoken point of view, how to form sentences out of a certain structure. That was the main way, especially by foreign authors. So I was lucky to have got such number of books. I got the material, and I kept on learning, and I kept on teaching in Bharat Sahasram as well. So up to this time, you will discover none of the coaching institute, not a renowned personality, none of the English medium schools enabled to form or learn the sentence formation, even up to advanced level. When I talk about sentence formation, that doesn't mean he is a good boy. He is the kind of boy, a promising lad who has got great promise for future. And what I want to say that he will be a renowned personality if he moves ahead with proper planning and orientation. ये he is a boy कितना बड़ा मैंने कहा उसके बारे में. So you have to learn the advanced state of sentence formation, the complex one, having more than 2 or 3 clauses. If you do that, that means you are learning. Theoretically, you are getting sound, and the same thing you will do at the time of speaking. So main thing I got from 20 spoken books. But books are books. They are not speaking. They are not like teacher. They are not explaining things. I got it in written form. I learned it in written form. Now I had the belief within 6 months or 12 months that I am familiar all the possible uses. There was one book of situational expression, that in a certain situation, how you speak, what are the sentences which are not based on grammatical structure, right? So that I completed that book. Then whatever I learned, I started practicing with others. I learned all the possible uses. Thereafter, I joined some group. I looked for such people who are interested in practicing, not teaching to one another. And I practiced for long, like group discussion, general conversation. And in this respect, one of my bosom friend, Chandan Kumar Chanchal, who is also ardent devotee of spoken English, helped me to get connected to some friends. And we had 5 or 6 people per person. After school, we used to sit in Jubilee Park at somebody's residence, and we continued practicing for an hour. And I'm really highly indebted to those people for not having taught me They didn't help me to know anything new. Rather, they practiced with me, and whatever I learned in the written form with those books came into my practice. So there is two-fold way to learn English. You learn theoretically; it will be in your memory, and when needed, you just use it at the time of conversation. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जस्ट सपोज इफ आई लर्न, क्या तुम मेरे ये बात नहीं सुनोगी, ये सुनोगे कि भारत सरकार जो है ऐसा कर रही है, तो क्या तुम मेरी बात नहीं सुनोगे? इसको ट्रांसलेट करने से नहीं होगा. देयर इज स्पेशल वे टू स्टार्ट इट. वुडंट यू टेक इन टू अकाउंट द फैक्ट? वुडंट यू लेट मी कंप्लीट माई स्टेटमेंट? तो दिस इज द स्पेसिफिक वे टू स्टार्ट ए सेंटेंस, and that is given in those books, the practical not sentences, the uses. So I learned theoretically, practiced in a group, and at the same time in Bharat Sevashram too, although it was a Hindi medium school, I talked to a student that unless and until you listen your teacher explaining the text in English, you will not be able to learn. Then I started doing the same thing in Bharat Sevashrams. Students said, okay sir, if you explain the text in Hindi too, then we have no problem. So I started exhausting myself too much. I used to explain in detail in English and did the same thing in Hindi. So that double work put special burden on me. But you have to do something to achieve. You have to sacrifice something, your huge amount of energy. In return, you will get English. So I practiced in my own group. I didn't go for the real conversation. I never went for the conversation with the good communicator or highly efficient people. I conversed with the people of my own level, students, teachers of my own level. I learned theoretical things from 20 odd books, and then I started took out those phrases, sentences, uses out of tongue at the time of practice. So at the time of practice, I capitalized those things, whatever I learned theoretically. And my speaking, my presentation improved day by day, not all of a sudden. So in Bharat Sevashram, I continued. Thereafter, I moved to Bihar because I had to move towards my native village. I was a private candidate. So I was not a government employee that I have to work at a certain place for some time. I went to my native place. There were some good English medium schools. Not good actually. They are schools of repute. But the schools were helpless for not having convent educated teachers. The teachers were from Hindi background mostly. So the explanation was being done in Hindi only. So the school was of different character. Books in English, teaching in Hindi. I started teaching in such school. There was no pressure of expectation. There was no pressure of performance. I kept on teaching for 1 or 2 years. I explained the things. My theoretical learning was over. Still, I cannot give credit to others that they helped me. They helped me to know something new. I will give credit to the authors and the students with whom I got a chance to practice and nurture my spoken skill. So in the classroom, even in Bihar, I did the same. Very soon I realized that you exhaust unnecessarily if you work in a school. In Arvis Academy itself, all the English schools have 8 period. They will engage you up to 7 period. Then you will leave. Then you will exhaust the last ounce of your energy. It is not the government school where you attend some classes and some recess classes as well. So in English medium school, I realized that at this stage of life, I should stop working in school. I started running my own coaching where I used to teach poor students, poor in a sense, language acquaintance. I taught them in Hindi, but I also conducted a spoken English class where I talked, interacted, explained, interpreted in English only. That helped me a lot because it was my own class. I was free. I had the full authority to experiment things. I completed a few batches. Thereafter, again, I had to come back to Jamshedpur due to some reason. After that, there was Corona outbreak. Learning, explaining process completely at halt. Few sentences, joined the online classes. Most of them were Hindi medium. And there was one CBSC student, very intelligent, with whom I continued for an hour in English. It was a lifetime opportunity. So in Corona, all my learning process came to the halt. After Corona, I decided that I have crossed 50 years. Now I think it is not a sensible idea, although I am all capable right now to join any English school. But I think that it would not be a sensible idea to join any English medium school. There is much harassment. Harassment means much exhaustion. At the end, in the second half, you will discover that there is no ounce of energy left within you. So people will develop the opinion that he doesn't want to do the hard work. I am all ready to attend 5 or 6 classes, not more than that. So I prefer to be in Bharat Sevashram. As a principal, nowadays I am faculty in teacher in English, and I am rendering my services. So my whole and soul process of learning is the same as I explained. Now, after Corona and after having taught for 2 years, I discovered that there are some other ways to learn and enhance spoken capability. Very recently, I came across an app, Joe's Talk, which gives the opportunity to talk and practice with the partners. I was very much excited. I got carried away by emotions, by sentiments, by excitement. Later on, I came to know that this app has got many users who are not up to the level. I am not keeping low opinion about them. My dissatisfaction or anguish is that there are such students who have got no idea that they should learn theoretical things. They should be capable of forming some sentences. Then only you will practice. But they have the false notion. They just are mistaken by the misleading advertisement. Come and join and learn within 90 days, 45 days, 15 days. You pay the 5,000, 80,000 discount. And there are advertisements that the same person will speak in two form. I was not able to speak English. I joined this course. Uske baad, after that, the other part of the video. Now I speak with completely, and as a matter of fact, I can talk to communicate to people. मतलब कि ये मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टीजमेंट है. वही आदमी जानबूझकर पहले भाग में गलत अंग्रेजी बोलता है, बाद में वो दिखाता है फर्राटेदार बोल रहा है, जैसे गंजा सर दिखाते हैं, फिर तेल दिखाते हैं, फिर दूसरे भाग में दिखाते हैं कि घने बाल आ गए. इससे क्या होता है कि बच्चों को ये भ्रम हो जाता है कि वो लोग प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, सिर्फ प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, कॉन्फिडेंस बनाएंगे और हो जाएगा. पर मेरा ख्याल है कि वे लोग बेसिक चीज़ को नहीं जानते, बहुत सारे यूज़र्स. तो मैंने जोश पे देखा कि कुछ एफिशिएंट लोग हैं. देर आर सम पीपल हु स्पीक क्वालिटी इंग्लिश, एंड देर आर सम लर्नर्स हु somehow talk and continue conversation. But 40% users are there who are misleaded by advertisement, by the prospect that they will only talk and learn. But for talking you need sentence. हम बात कैसे करते हैं? क्या है बात करने का तरीका? हम वाक्य जाते हैं. जैसे कि मैं आपसे भी बात करूं, आप अभी देख रहे हैं कि भैया आपने कुछ समझा कि कैसे सीखा जा सकता है. हेलो, डिड यू पिक अप द डिटेल व्हाट एक्चुअली इज द रियल प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग. तो डिड यू पिक अप द डिटेल व्हाट एक्चुअली इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग, ये क्या है? ये कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, ये है एक सेंटेंस जिसे मैं बना सकता हूं. और यही चीज थ्योरेटिकली सीखना है. जिसने सीख लिया उसका बेड़ा पार, वो सही रास्ते पे चला गया. और ऐसे लोग हजारों हैं जो कंसस हैं, जो डिजर्विंग कैंडिडेट हैं, जिन्हें पता है कि किसी से सलाह नहीं लेनी है, मुझे ये काम करना है. देयर आर मेनी पीपल, दे आर द रियल लर्नर. दे शुड बी गिवन रिस्पेक्ट, they should be given advices. But there are some learners who will not do the hard work. They think that we are pass out from college, why should we learn tense structure, why the hell we should do, what's the need. And there are people who will advise, ट्रांसलेशन मत सीखो, कुछ नहीं होगा, कैसे भी ट्रांसलेट करके बोलोगे. ट्रांसलेशन is necessary up to the basic level. You don't have to translate and then to speak. I learned translation, that was the foundation. I am talking to you, I am not translating. I learned English, after that I give up translation. It was just like plaster. Once the bone is fixed, plaster is gone. That plaster is translation, that will be gone after some time. Then in the English medium, trainer will advise, translation mat banao, bekar ho jayega. How can you translate each and every sentence? मैं पूछता हूँ कि ट्रांसलेशन अगर सभी सेंटेंस का नहीं हो पाता तो ये हजारों किताबें अंग्रेजी से हिंदी और हिंदी से अंग्रेजी में ट्रांसलेट किसने किया? इंग्लिश मीडियम वालों ने किया? नहीं, उन्होंने किया जिनको कि हिंदी का बहुत अच्छा ज्ञान था, इसीलिए उन्होंने अंग्रेजी भी सक्षम थे, बुक को ट्रांसलेट किया। तो ट्रेनर है, ट्रांसलेशन मत बनाओ। हजारों करोड़ों इंसान है, ग्रामर से अंग्रेजी नहीं सीखते हैं। देखो इंग्लिश मीडियम वाला ग्रामर नहीं सीखता। अरे इंग्लिश मीडियम वालों की बात अलग है, वो मातृभाषा के रूप में पढ़ते हैं, उनकी किताबें, उनकी एक्सप्लेनेशन इंग्लिश में वो सुनते हैं 5 वर्ष तक, 6 क्लास से धीरे धीरे पिकअप करते हैं। आपको ग्रामर ही सीखना है, यानी ग्रामर मतलब कि ग्रामेटिकल यूजेस, उसकी सहायता से सेंटेंस बनाना है यूजेस से। आपने सीख लिया कि सब्जेक्ट प्लस वर्ब प्लस V3, ब्रेड इज इटन बाय मी, तो आप वैसे 50 सेंटेंस बनाइए कि ब्रेड इज इटन बाय मी, ही इज बिटन बाय मी। तो आपने एक स्ट्रक्चर सीखा, सेंटेंस बना लीजिए। ये काम करना है थ्योरेटिकली, तभी आप बात कर पाएंगे। तो वीडियो के अंत में मैं ये कंसंट्रेट कर रहा हूं कि हजारों वीडियो, हजारों ट्रेनर है, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल के जो ट्रेनर है वो सबसे सही सिखाते हैं, क्योंकि उनका काम है, लड़का पहले से सीखा हुआ है, कैंडिडेट ने सीख रखा है, उन्हें स्टाइल, उन्हें टेक्निक उन्हें ये चीज़ें सिखानी है कि हाउ टू टॉक इफिशिएंटली, इफेक्टिवली, effortlessly in different situations of life. You have to talk to a shopkeeper, you have to deal the management, you have to explain things in classroom as a teacher, you have to talk to your friend, and sometimes you need to talk to a medical representative as a medical representative. The form of talking will differ from place to place, and that is effective way of talking. If you are skillful, you are a good communicator. तो वो सब ट्रेनर तो यूट्यूब में भरे हुए हैं और उनको आप फॉलो करो। लेकिन जो ट्रेनर सिर्फ सिखाने के नाम पर 50 मिनट की वीडियो बनाता है और कुछ भी नहीं बताता है कि ये स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, मॉडल क्या है, ये चैप्टर क्या है, इसको कैसे डील करना, हाउ टू फॉर्म सेंटेंसेस आउट ऑफ ए सर्टन स्ट्रक्चर, थ्योरेटिकल कुछ नहीं है। वो 1 घंटे तक हाउ टू बिल्ड अप कॉन्फिडेंस, कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कैसे जब उससे सेंटेंस बनाना ही नहीं आता है? पहले उसको सेंटेंस कैसे बन सकता है, किन स्ट्रक्चर पर, किन टॉपिक पर, आप उसको सिखाइए। तो बिल्डअप कॉन्फिडेंस, अब बिल्डअप कॉन्फिडेंस पे 30 मिनट तक वो बोलते, क्योंकि बहुत अच्छे वक्ता है। फिर बताते हैं थिंक पॉजिटिव, अब इस पर 15 मिनट बोलते हैं। योर थिंकिंग शुड बी पॉजिटिव, यू नो इंग्लिश इज द काइंड ऑफ थिंग यू हैव टू टैकल प्रेशर, यू नो इट्स द एज ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन, यू हैव टू कम इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद द पीपल एंड यू हैव टू लर्न हाउ टू काउंटर द प्रेशर, बिकॉज ये उनका एक्सप्लेनेशन है। ये बहुत, मैंने तो अपना क्षमता अनुसार, लेकिन वो इससे भी अच्छा बोलते हैं। और हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो सोचते हैं सर क्या मस्त अंग्रेजी बोलते भाई, यहाँ जरूर हम लोग सीख जाएंगे। 6 महीने के बाद अच्छा एक और कोर्स ज्वाइन कर लेते, नहीं हो रहा है, अभी भी दिक्कत हो रहा है, मतलब कि कुछ बात है, वे ऐसा सोचते हैं। देखिए इनफॉर्मल वे ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग है, मैं डील कर रहा हूँ कि कोई देखे तो कुछ बातें सीख जाए। तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग में आधा घंटा, पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग में आधा घंटा, प्रोनाउंसिएशन में 25 मिनट। अरे प्रोनाउंसिएशन तो भाषा सीखना है, उसमें फिर उसको प्रोनाउंस करके इफेक्ट लाना है। अगर हम शुरू से प्रोनाउंसिएशन सीखेंगे तो हम भाषा का स्ट्रक्चर और सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन कब सीखेंगे? फर्स्टली यू लर्न दिस इज अ बुक एंड देन यू ट्राई टू प्रोनाउंस द बुक इन द मोस्ट करेक्ट वे। प्रोनाउंसिएशन इज लर्नड इन द वेरी इनिशियल फेज, बाद में आप सीख ही नहीं सकते, आप जान सकते, सीख नहीं सकते। कभी कभी आप कुछ शब्दों को सुधार सकते हैं, जैसे मैंने नेचुरल को नेचुरल सुधार लिया, एसेंशियल को एसेंशियल सीख लिया, तो ये मेरे हिस्से बन गए। पर सारी डिक्शनरी में नहीं कर सकता, मैं हिंदुस्तानी हूँ, मेरी एक्सेंट अलग है, मेरी इंस्टिंक्ट अलग है और मेरा सारा फोकस फ्लुएंसी पे है। तो कुछ लोग प्रोनाउंसिएशन पर इतना जोर देते हैं कि दैट इज होल एंड सोल ऑफ इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग। फिर कोई बोलते हैं पॉजिटिव, कोई बोलते हैं बिल्डअप कॉन्फिडेंस, कोई बोलते हैं कि अंग्रेजी में सोचो। देश का एक बहुत बड़ा ट्रेनर भाषण दे रहा है, हिंदी मीडियम के बेवकूफ़ बच्चे सुन रहे हैं उसको, सुनो, बेवकूफ़ इसलिए है कि उसे सच मानते हैं। वो कहता है आप अंग्रेजी नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि आप अंग्रेजी में सोचते ही नहीं। चलो मैं एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ, मुझे चाइनीज़ भाषा सीखनी, अब जब वीडियो बना रहा हूँ सोचो मैं चाइनीज़ सीख रहा हूँ, चलो यार चाइनीज़ में सीखते हैं, क्या चाइनीज़ में सोचते हैं, क्या सोचेंगे चाइनीज़ में? चिंग चुंग चिंग चिंग, क्या चाइनीज़ भाषा के अल्फ़ाबेट, वर्ड्स, उसके सेंटेंसेस आएंगे तभी ना सोचेंगे। तो इंग्लिश में सोचो, 1 करोड़ फॉलोवर हो सकता है, पर क्या ये सलाह सही है कि इंग्लिश में सोचो? अरे इंग्लिश में सोचेंगे, जैसे मैं इंग्लिश में सोच सकता हूँ, एक झापड़ देंगे कस के, चुप कर देंगे, आई विल गिव यू अ टाइट स्लैप। तो मुझे मालूम है कि ये सोच लिया मैंने, तो पहले तो सेंटेंस बनाने सिखाओ। बहुत कम ट्रेनर हैं जो थ्योरेटिकल देते हैं, वो भी उनकी प्लान्ड वे में नहीं है, स्टेप वाइज। किसी दिन मॉडल सिखा दिया, उसके बाद आ गए सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट, टेंस, नदारत। तो उसको एक स्टेप वाइज सीखना है कि कैसे कैसे आगे बढ़ना है। ग्रामर शुरू होता है कैसे, वर्ड, फिर सेंटेंस, फिर इसके दो हिस्से, सब्जेक्ट प्रेडिकेट, प्रेडिकेट में ऑब्जेक्ट, फिर कॉम्प्लीमेंट, फिर सेंटेंस के 5 प्रकार, फिर उसके बाद स्ट्रक्चर पे 3 और प्रकार, फिर उसके बाद होता है हमारा सेंटेंस लर्निंग पूरा। अभी अधिक क्या यहाँ एक्सप्लेन करें। तो ग्रामर स्टार्ट्स विथ अल्फाबेट, वर्ड, सेंटेंसेस, टाइप ऑफ सेंटेंसेस, पार्ट ऑफ सेंटेंसेस। उसके बाद हमारा टॉपिक आधिकारिक रूप से पर्सन, वर्ब फॉर्म, दीज आर द बेसिक थिंग्स वी मस्ट नो। तो अब मैं वीडियो अंत करूंगा, मेरे ख्याल है 40 मिनट हो चुके हैं। और मैं आपको सलाह देता हूं कि जो भी देख रहे हैं, अगर वो हिंदी मीडियम से हैं, बांग्ला मीडियम से, यानी रीजनल मीडियम से, तो आपके लिए फिर रास्ता थोड़ा अलग है। क्योंकि आपको अगर कोई सलाह दे ट्रांसलेशन मत सीखो, ग्रामर से कुछ नहीं होगा, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि आपका जो लेवल है वो वही रहेगा, उसमें आप कुछ और जोड़ नहीं पाएंगे। हाँ, ये बात ज़रूर है कि अगर आपकी रिटन इंग्लिश 60% तक है, परफेक्शन 100%, रिटन इंग्लिश 60 है और स्पोकन तो 20 भी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं निकलता मुंह से, तो आप प्रैक्टिस कर करके 60 पे आ जाएंगे, यानी कि आपकी रिटन और स्पोकन बराबर होगी। लेकिन अगर रिटन कंप्लीट नहीं है तो स्पोकन पूरी तरह परफेक्ट हो ही नहीं पाएगा, हो ही नहीं सकता। इफ यू आर इनकैपेबल टू राइट करेक्टली, देन देर इज नो कैथोलिकॉन, कोई रामबाण नहीं है विच विल मेक यू परफेक्ट 100% efficient in English. Firstly, theoretical sound knowledge, immaculate English at the time of writing. If you write correctly, then only you will be able to speak. यही थ्योरी है बस, और कुछ नहीं है इंग्लिश में। पर इसके बजाय बोलते जाओ, प्रैक्टिस करते जाओ, आए नहीं आए, ऑन की जगह आर्ट, एट की जगह फैट, फैट की जगह अबाउट लगा दो, बोलो। और मैं अंत में ये लाइन कहूँगा, जब मैंने जोश में बात किया तो मैंने देखा, मुझे ये कहने का हक नहीं, लेकिन मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया कि देश में बहुत सारे लोग फ्लुएंट हैं। एज ए टीचर मैं भी काफ़ी गलतियां करता हूँ, मैं कैंडिडेट, अभी मैं टीचर नहीं हूँ, मैं एक कैंडिडेट हूँ, तो मैं एक प्रैक्टिशनर हूँ। मैं ईयर लॉन्ग अपना एफर्ट चल रहा है, मेरा चलते रहेगा जब तक परफेक्शन पे ना पहुँच जाए। तो मैं भी बहुत बड़ी गलतियाँ करता हूँ कभी कभी, लेकिन जिस फ्रिक्वेंसी में मैंने देखा कि ऐप पे फ्लुएंट बोलने वाले लोग गलती कर रहे हैं, ये एक बहुत गंभीर संकेत है देश के लिए। यू नो, यू आर ऑलरेडी फ्लुएंट, यू डू नॉट स्टॉप इन द मिडल, यू कंप्लीट कन्वर्सेशन, you do not have pause, you start it very effective manner, but you know, you the kind of silly mistakes somebody makes. Most of the people, not all, those people who do not study the fundamentals of language. मैंने ऐप पर बात किया और मैंने देखा कि इनको कौन सजेशन दे, ये तो पूरी तरह फ्लुएंट है, और ये इनकी तो मतलब मैं उन लोगों में नहीं हूँ जो किसी ने कुछ बोला और उसमें खोजो ऑन, अबाउट, दैट गलती है। पर ऐप पे लगातार बात करेंगे तो कंसंट्रेट करेंगे। तो बाद में मैंने सुनना छोड़ दिया, चलो अपनी बात बोल दो, उनको बोलने दो। जब बहुत अच्छे वक्ता होते हैं तब मैं उनको सुनता हूँ, क्योंकि गलत सुनेंगे तो फिर गलत आपके हिस्से में आ जाएगा। तो मैं ये बंद करता हूँ, मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टीजमेंट में ना आए। मैंने तो एक्सपीरियंस शेयर की, मैंने कभी नहीं कहा कि आप भी यही काम शुरू कर दो। आई हैड द ग्रेट प्रिविलेज बिकॉज आई वॉज एन इंग्लिश टीचर, सो आई हैड द लिबर्टी टू एक्सप्लेन थिंग्स इन इंग्लिश। जस्ट सपोज यू आर a social study teacher in a government school, how will you do that? You cannot explain social study Babar and Humayun in English. So people have got their own limitation. As an English teacher, I was fortunate that I practiced in the classroom. But I advise that if you are really eager, you can do it outside classroom, and you will be general conversation जो होता है ना, दैनिक जीवन की बातचीत जो लगातार, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, वो आप थोड़े से प्रयास से कर सकते। अगर हाई क्वालिटी वोकैबुलरी, अच्छी लेवल की स्पीक करना, बात करना चाहते हैं, तब मेहनत है उसमें बहुत। तो आप प्रैक्टिस करें। आपने अगर इस यहाँ तक सुना, अगर फुर्सत है, देखा, आधे में बकवास समझ के बंद कर दिया तो कोई बात नहीं। तो अगर आपने देखेंगे कि परिस्थितियाँ अलग अलग होंगी। अब मैंने सीख रखा, यहाँ तक लगभग बोल लेता हूँ, मैं किसको कहूँ कि उसने मुझे सिखा दिया। किसी ने नहीं सिखाया। पिताजी ने ट्रांसलेशन चेक किया, टीचरों ने ट्रांसलेशन चेक किया, मेरे दोस्तों ने जो एज ग्रुप में थे और अपने लेवल के जो सीखने वाले थे उन्होंने मेरे साथ प्रैक्टिस की। इन सब ने मुझे सिखाया नहीं, मेरे ट्रांसलेशन को चेक किया गया, थोड़ा बहुत बता दिया गया, पर किसी ने नहीं कहा कि स्पोकन इंग्लिश क्या करना है। मेरी अपनी टेक्निक थी, अपनी है टेक्निक। तो मैं किसी को क्रेडिट नहीं दे सकता, कोई इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं है कि मैंने ज्वाइन किया। बस किताबें, मटेरियल, theoretical knowledge, practice and perfection. No misleading. I also watch the videos on YouTube. I will mention those to whom I am really obliged, indebted. They are the good communicator and speaker and trainer. See, Simmerjeet Singh is an exceptionally good communication skill trainer. सिमरजीत सिंह की वीडियो आप मत देखिए, मेरे गुरु हैं। सिमरजीत सिंह की वीडियो मैं देखता हूँ। सदगुरु की वीडियोस देखिए, उनकी लैंग्वेज बहुत अच्छी, वोकैबुलरी तो बहुत ही अच्छी है। आप लेट्स टॉक एक एजेंसी है, वो वीडियो बनाती है इंग्लिश पे, उसके जो ट्रेनर है मिसेल, निहारिका, रेबेका, ये सभी फॉरेन सर्टिफाइड है। उनकी पूरी एक्सेंट जो है विदेशी है। उन्होंने अपनी एजुकेशन या तो कुछ हिस्सा विदेशों में किया है। उनकी भी वीडियोस आप देख सकते हैं, पर एक्चुअली उन्हें फंडामेंटल लर्निंग की सिस्टमैटिक प्रोसेस नहीं मालूम है, ये मैं कह देता हूँ। ये किसी दिन कोई टॉपिक शुरू कर देते, लेकिन वो काफ़ी अच्छी अंग्रेजी बोलते। और जहाँ तक कि फंडामेंटल लर्निंग के लिए, उसमें आप खुद लर्निंग, उसके लिए वीडियो मत देखिए, उसके लिए नेट का सहारा लीजिए। नेट में टाइप कीजिए मोडाल्स, यू विल गेट ऑल द पेजेज and you do it in written form. When you complete the written form, have mastery, then you try to utter those uses and sentences based on the topic. That should be the form of practice. In the end, I would say that my whole and soul intention was to share my own experience, year-long experience as an English teacher. Being a Hindi medium student, the journey was full of difficulties, and that is what I wanted to share. And at the end of the video, when I went in the wayward manner, my dissatisfaction, my anguish is the way they are misleading कि ये कर लो सीख जाओगे, वो कर लो सीख जाओ, कॉन्फिडेंस बना लो सीख जाओगे, ऐसे पॉजिटिव सोचो, अंग्रेजी में सोचो, ये करो वो करो। तो आप एक बात जान लें, थ्योरेटिकल किए बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता। आप उनके वीडियोस को देखिए, इंग्लिश सुनिए, लाभान्वित होइए और थ्योरेटिकल काम कीजिए अगर आप हिंदी मीडियम से हैं और आपको थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज नहीं है। ठीक है, तो मैं वीडियो बंद करता हूँ। अंत में फिर मैं वही एक ही रटी रटाई बात 48 मिनट तक आई है कि आपको थ्योरी करना, फिर साउंड नॉलेज, और तब उसको प्रैक्टिकल रूप में बाहर निकालना मुंह से। अब जैसे मान लो मुझे अभी बोलना है कि देखो मित्रों, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने जिस किस्म के वीडियोस बनाए हैं हाल फिलहाल में, उन सारे को मैं डिलीट करूँगा, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि वो एक बहुत अच्छी किस्म का वीडियो नहीं है। तो मुझे एक प्लान्ड मैनर में वीडियो बनाना चाहता। तो देखिए इस बात को मुझे, अब ये सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन चाहिए मुझे, मैंने थ्योरेटिकली मेहनत की है, मैंने कोई इंग्लिश मीडियम में नहीं सीखा। तो देखिए मैंने तो वीडियो में दिखा दिया आपको, प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट 2 क्लास से दिखाया, स्कूलों के नाम बताए। तो आप देखिए, सी माई फ्रेंड, I do feel it sincerely, earnestly. The way I have talked in some of my videos, it's not proper. It's not up to the level. And as a content creator, I should have been concerned about that. But my whole and soul intention is to interact and share my experience. So I am sure that in the coming days, in future, I will shoot the videos in planned manner, upload it, and most probably I will delete all the existing videos, at least some of them. सेंटेंस बना ना, हिंदी में जो बात कही थी वही अंग्रेजी में बोला ना, तो कहाँ से आया ताकत? बस यही ताकत लानी है, और जो उपाय है मैंने बता दिया है। अगर आप चाहते हैं कि मैं टाई लगा लूँ, खूब अच्छा चेहरा बना लूँ, चेहरा तो अच्छा प्रकृति की बात है, मैं खूब स्टाइल करूँ, जैसे प्रोनाउंसिएशन में स्टाइल पैदा होता, जैसे देखिए वेल है, आप जो कैम्ब्रिज सर्टिफाइड है, वेल को कैसे बोलते हैं? वाओ वाओ टुडे। तो ये मैं नहीं कर सकता, मुझे सीखना भी नहीं है, मुझे हिंदुस्तानी रहना है। तो देखिए यू विल। अब कुछ लोग डाटा को डेटा बोलते, एक्चुअल डेटा प्रोनाउंसिएशन है, और डेटा को डेटा नहीं बोलना, डेटा डेटा, टू डे डे, अप टू दिस डे। तो ये तो इफेक्टिव है, मतलब बिल्कुल ओरिजिनल ब्रिटिश। तो ये तो मतलब मुश्किल है, ये मैं नहीं कर सकता। आप इंग्लिश फ्लुएंट हो जाएंगे, प्रोनाउंसिएशन बहुत हद तक सुधरेगी। तो मेरा ख्याल है कि सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन जो मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले डिस्प्ले किया कि किसी सिचुएशन को आप बता सकते हैं इंग्लिश में, यही होल एंड सोल कैपेबिलिटी है जिसे डेवलप करना है। और रही बात कि उन लोगों की तरह जिन्होंने कैम्ब्रिज में, ऑक्सफोर्ड में 3 साल 2 साल रिसर्च किया, शिक्षा ली, इनका एक्सेंट बदला, प्रोनाउंसिएशन थोड़ी थोड़ी बदलने लगी, वो काम आप कभी कर नहीं पाएंगे जब तक कि आपने उन देशों में कुछ समय ना बिताया हो। आप अगर करेंगे तो थोड़ा नाटकीय हो जाएगा, जैसे मैं करता हूँ, मैं इस वीडियो में कर देता हूँ थोड़ा। देखिए एक लाइन है, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट फॉर प्रॉपर पीस एंड डेवलपमेंट, गवर्नमेंट इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू टेक सम इनिशिएटिव टू रेज द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ कंट्री। ये लाइन है ना। अब देखिए इसको ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट में कैसा कहा जाएगा। ये ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट होगा नहीं, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ। एक हिंदुस्तानी जो कभी नहीं गया अंग्रेज देश में, वो कैसे कर सकता है? वो अव्यावहारिक है, इम्प्रैक्टिकल है, पर किया जा सकता है। फॉर प्रॉपर पीस एंड डेवलपमेंट, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू टेक इनिशिएटिव टू रेज द लेवल ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन कंट्री। इसकी जरूरत क्या है? ये किया जा सकता है, इसकी प्रैक्टिस से परफेक्शन तक जा सकते हैं। बट व्हाई डू वी नीड टू डू सो? Why do we tend to people other and expect from others that they will speak in this fashion? They should be master of English. They should be the person of profound knowledge, authority, a man of worth. But they should never try to be an Englishman. It is their accent. But it is our hollowness of our mind. If we happen to see somebody generating the nasal sound, what about you? I'm pleased to meet you. It seems that they are next to God. Such is the hype, such is the hollowness, the mentality. Why can't we feel proud that as an Indian we are full of expression? हर्षा भोगले को देखा है, सिद्धार्थ बसु को देखा है, वो अंग्रेजी एक्सेंट में नहीं बोलते हैं, पूरी दुनिया में धूम है। हर्षा सबसे बेहतरीन कमेंटेटर है, सबने कहा, इंडियन है, क्रिकेट कमेंटेटर। सिद्धार्थ बसु को चीन में बुलाया जाता है, जापान में बुलाया जाता है। हमारी इंडियन वे ऑफ स्पीकिंग भी काफी बेहतरीन हो सकती है। तो स्टाइल से बोलने के चक्कर में अपनी स्वाभाविकता को खो ना दें। जब पूरी अंग्रेजी सीख जाए तो फिर स्टाइल का तड़का मारें। चलिए बेमतलब कि ये मतलब बंद किया जाए, क्यों?